Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Happy to have you tuning in on this morning. And you already know what it is. I'm Coach Steele, and you are here with Coach Steele's Finance Training. We're happy to have you tuning in on this morning to learn about financial literacy. And if anyone is a regular guest with Coach Steele's Finance Training, or I guess I could say, instead of saying a regular guest, a regular listener, you'll understand that this morning, Saturday morning, it's about 7:38, and usually I don't go live until about 9 a.m. But guess what? Like I told you all, Coach Steele's Finance Training is constantly growing. The team is constantly growing, and we're having a lot of success in this space with educating people and getting them on the right track. And so, with that being said, this morning I do have a speaking engagement this morning at 9 a.m. and I am Eastern Standard Time Zone. So do remember Coach Steele's Finance Training. I do go live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Today is just an exception because I have a speaking engagement to talk about how to get out of debt, being qualified to get out of debt. And I'll be speaking at Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church at 1370 Shaw Road on this morning in Hinesville, Georgia, Liberty County. And so I'm excited to talk to people about being qualified to get out of debt and the different creative ways to get out of debt. And if you are tuning in, just know that I am live on Facebook under my name, Simon Steele, and I am also live on YouTube. And you can go to my YouTube channel, Coach Steele's Finance Training. Coach Steele's, Steeles, Coach Steele's Finance Training, and tune in on YouTube. And it's great to be a YouTube subscriber as well, because if you subscribe to my YouTube, I have well over 300 videos on my YouTube channel that you can go through and learn so much more about financial literacy. So there's a lot of great content in there in that financial literacy space, from real estate to eliminating debt to dividend stocks. It is very creative. And so I want you to make sure that you do go over there and visit that YouTube channel and subscribe. We're growing over there as well. And every time we hit a landmark on that YouTube channel, of course, I give away a little money. So, hey, it makes sense to be a subscriber to keep up what's going on there and the information. Happy to have everyone tuning in on this morning. Look forward to going over some basic information on today. I call this like a financial literacy check-in. At least once a month, you should have an accountability partner, someone that you can connect with to do a financial literacy check-in. What is your progress? How are you doing? I would also call it a financial literacy coach, which is what I do. I do a lot of financial coaching and finding out what adjustments people can make. What can they do to accomplish their goals? Where are they trying to get? How can I help them? What are your habits? What are your spending habits? Where is your mental at in that moment when you're trying to accomplish your financial goals? And the list goes on, putting together a legitimate plan for you to be able to accomplish your goals based off of what you're working with. And a lot of that depends on how you create a budget, how you make a budget. Some of my clients, they're not really sure how much they're spending on things. They're not really sure exactly how much they have coming in and how to estimate that based off of whether they are hourly, because they may not be salary, but then sometimes they get overtime and sometimes they do extra work on the side. And so everybody's system and plan is unique when we're trying to put together a financial plan for someone's life. But I enjoy doing it because when you give someone a plan and they are disciplined enough to follow it, you can have success. You can have a financial roadmap made for you and ride down that road to get to your destination. But happy for everyone tuning in on this morning. Once again, this is Coach Steele's Finance Training, and I'm on a little bit earlier than usual because I want to be consistent with my people that listen. I want to be consistent to the eyes and ears that take out time to listen to what I have to say about financial literacy and improving our community to be better financially. And I'm excited about it because we're making so much progress. There are people that are tuning in that hit me up and they say, hey, Coach Steele, I have an IRA account now. Hey, Coach Steele, I set up a retirement account. What do I do next? And those are excited feelings that I have. One, because we talk about how women as a whole in America are struggling financially, according to the stats, compared to other people, compared to men. And so when we look at that and we see that women are at the lower part in a lot of different areas financially, living paycheck to paycheck, not being prepared for retirement, all of those different dynamics that are going on, to have at least two women come back to me and let me know that they set up their retirement account, what does that mean? That means we are changing the statistics, we are changing the dynamics by educating people and letting them know that it is not difficult to make progress financially when you have a made-up mind. Tell yourself that. It is not difficult for me to have financial success when I have a made-up mind. You know, at the church I attend, we have a phrase that we say as we continue to give unto God. It's say it, sow it, see it. And you have to know and be confident to be able to say it and then be able to sow it. Put in the work, put in the time, put in the energy, put in the effort, put in the investment. Sometimes you have to invest into your knowledge. You have to invest into your mental. You have to invest money to gain knowledge, to gain wisdom, to get mentorship so that you can improve in whatever aspect of life you need to improve in, especially your finances. And so as we take this financial journey and as you commit yourself to improving financially, you will see the fruit of your labor. And so this is an exciting season, and we do know that the seasons are changing. But when we do this financial literacy check-in, it is more important in the month of October, and I'll do another session about this, and I'll probably come back later on this evening and do another financial check-in, financial literacy check-in after the speaking engagement on today. If you can't make it to Mount Zion at 1370 Shaw Road in Hinesville, Georgia, then I will record some of what I do today at that speaking engagement, and then we'll post it on the YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe so that you can see what happened at the speaking engagement on this morning. That way you don't miss too much. You might miss a little, but I'll put a lot of it on the YouTube channel in the video section. So I'm excited about that on today. As the season change, we have October, November, December, January. What does that mean if you live in America? Can anyone guess what that means? If you live in America and we have the end of October coming, we have November, December, and January. It means a whole lot. Can anyone guess what that means? Well, it means that a lot of people are going to be spending money on different holidays, and a lot of people are going to be spending money on traveling. In America, October, of course, we have end of October, you have Halloween. Then you get hit with November, and there's something celebrated called Thanksgiving. And then you get to December, and there's something celebrated called Christmas. And then you get to January, and you have New Year's. And let's not bring up February, where we have Valentine's Day. So in the next 4 to 5 months, people are going to spend more money than they usually spend in their budget. In the next 4 to 5 months, people are going to spend more money than what they usually spend out of their budget. And most people spend money that they did not plan to spend. And most people will put those expenses, travel, vacation, gifts that they give their loved ones and friends, family, boyfriends, and girlfriends. Most people are going to put those items on, you know what? They're going to put them on what I call CC. Everyone, most people in America have a friend called CC. And CC is that credit card. You've guessed it. Most people are going to put their money on that credit card, will not put their money, put those expenses for travel, vacation, you name it, gifts in the next 4 months on a credit card. And so I always tell everyone, you do not want to pay for groceries this month with a credit card and 5 months later still be paying interest on the groceries you bought in October. And so a lot of people are going to buy gifts that they potentially can't afford, go travel and go on vacations that they financially may not need to go on because of their financial situation. In America, whether you're a child or whether you're an adult, one of the most difficult things for people to deal with is peer pressure and learning the power to say no. Sometimes when your budget is not in the right place, and a lot of people don't want to hear this, but you need to, it's okay to say, no, we're not going to make that trip. No, we're not going to be able to participate in that capacity right now. How does that feel? It makes some people feel bad. It makes some people feel sad. For some people, it will feel like you're letting the people down that expected you to participate like everyone else, or expected you to be able to do a certain thing. Some people will not care about your financial situation. They will not care about your financial well-being. As long as you do what they request you to do, they'll be happy. But if you operate in your best interest financially, it may let some people down. You cannot be concerned about who you let down. You need to be concerned about not letting yourself down in these coming seasons. The marketing and the advertising is going to be at an all-time high. Why? Because people are willing to swipe away and spend away at the end of October, November, December, January, and February. The next 4 to 5 months are going to be very, very intense and trying as you deal with the psychological effect of colors, marketing, and advertising. And so as we dive into financial literacy check-in, I'm going to hit it very hard in the next few months because I want you to be able to spend what your budget can afford for you to spend. And I don't want people to spend what their budget cannot afford for them to spend. We got to be willing to spend money that we know is there. Anyway, it's real easy in the next few months to allow your credit card balance to get out of hand and then say, well, I won't worry about it because in February, I'm going to do my taxes. And the money I get from my taxes, I'll pay that credit card off. That's how it starts. That's how it put you in a rough situation potentially last year. It's trying to account for money that's not in the hand yet, trying to balance it out with invisible future money. We have to be careful there. And because you're not accounting for the things that could potentially happen in between that time, whether the car needs new tires, oil changes, accidents, hospital visits, so many unexpected things that can potentially happen. We want to be very creative and careful and make sure that we account for the potential, the incidentals, those things that we don't expect. If you are going to travel, if you are going to buy gifts, it's not too late to budget and set aside money for December if you plan on traveling or any other month. And for some people and some families, like I said, you have to have the power to be able to say no if you can't do it. If they're upset, that's fine. At least you stayed within your budget. You stayed on track so that you can meet your financial goals. Who really wants to go into 2025 and not be in a better position financially? So, as we do a financial literacy check-in on this morning, I am Coach Steele. You're here with Coach Steele's Finance Training. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. I do have a speaking engagement on this morning. I'm excited about it. I'm talking about being qualified to be debt-free. And I'll be going over different scenarios and situations on how you can eliminate debt out of your life and become debt-free. And if you are a YouTube subscriber, then you will see a lot of that content because from the speaking engagement, I will load up a lot of that information and you'll see those videos on the YouTube channel. So make sure you go subscribe to the YouTube channel at Coach Steele's Finance Training. Also, ladies and gentlemen, as we talk about financial literacy check-in and seasons changing, how many people, good morning to you, Marcus Scott. I think, Marcus, one of the good things we can probably talk about in one of our future Thursday evening financial literacy talks would be about the seasons coming up and the money that most people are going to spend on travel, vacations, buying gifts, and things like that. Just because I saw you tune in, it made me think about that. Those are some good subjects. But one thing I'm confident most people have seen the difference in this month as opposed to the past 2 or 3 months is, has anyone looked at their electric bill? Because of the seasons changing, a lot of you should see a huge difference in your electric bill. Your electric bill should have gone down. About a month ago, when I was live, we were talking about how there's been an increase in the electric bills for a number of reasons. Of course, we had the season change, but also the cost to have power because of inflation and these big companies. There was an increase in your electric bill. And so when we talk about that, now that the seasons have changed and you don't need your air conditioning running as hard, depending on where you are in America, you should see an improvement in your electric bill. I saw about $100 difference in my electric bill. I was extremely happy. Now, when you see that difference in your bills, whether it's groceries or whether it's the electric bill, when you make progress, you have to understand that if you saved $100, it potentially gives you an extra $100 left over at the end of the month than what you normally are used to. So it increases your cash flow. And if you increase your cash flow at the end of the month, first thing we want to look at in our debt, the first thing we want to attack and start searching for when we look at our financial situation is we want to see, do we have any debt? Is there an outstanding credit card? Is there any personal loans, car note? You can take that extra money you have left over at the end of the month and apply it to principal. Apply a principal payment of that amount to that bill. That way we can get that bill out of there much faster. And so just keep that in mind, that as you see these shifts and changes, when you work on improving your budget, when you work on improving your finances, and at the end of the month, you look and you see there's extra money there, we want to attack debt. And we want to apply principal payments to any debt that we have with that extra to eliminate it faster. And also, let's say you don't have any debt. Then you want to look at your savings account, your emergency fund. Does that need to have more in it? Does it need to be built up? If you have that extra cash flow, that extra $100, extra $500, for some people out there, they may have an extra couple thousand at the end of every month. If you find yourself with that extra, now you can say, you know what? I don't have any debt. I'm going to improve my savings account. I'm going to improve my emergency fund. You take that money, you put it there. But if you already have a good savings account, a good size emergency fund, don't just keep stacking money up over there. You can make that money work for you and make a higher interest on that money by placing it in an asset class, by placing it in an investment that can potentially make 10 to 12% annually. And so that's when you want to make adjustments, whether you invest in a consistent ETF, if you want to invest in stocks, real estate, you name it. There's so many different asset classes, commodities, gold, silver. If you just want to make sure you hedge against inflation, but start putting that money to work in different environments to work for you, to work to your benefit. And most importantly, definitely to hedge against inflation, because you don't want the power of your dollar. Listen, if you're tuning in on this morning, we work too hard for our money. We make so many wise decisions to grow our finances, to get paid every month, or some people every week, every 2 weeks. You work entirely too hard to throw your money away or to allow inflation to cause you to lose spending power of your money. So we always want to place that money, those seeds, those finances in a place where it can grow to our benefit or we can use it to our benefit. And so I'm excited about this financial literacy check-in on this morning. It is October 19th. And with that being said, we only got, a few days left in the month of October before we dive right into November. And so with these, whether it's a week and a half, or however much time is left, maybe a less than a week and a half, let's say about a week and a half, we want to make sure that we have our budget together. This is a perfect time to look at what bills haven't I paid yet this month. And all it takes simply is grabbing a piece of paper and something to write with and find out what bills haven't I paid this month. What bills do I need to make sure that I pay, and looking at what's left in that account. How much money do I have left in this account, and how many bills are left to pay? That way, as you go to the store, you're going to make sure that you do not overspend, knowing that you have some bills left to pay for this month. And it gives you a chance to be wise and not overspend, knowing that there are things, priorities that need to be taken care of. Giving you the maturity to say, I can't put this bill on the back burner or we won't have lights. I can't put this credit card bill on the back burner and say, oh, I'll pay it next month. Why? Because the bank is going to make money off of you. They're going to charge you interest on that balance. Now, some people have 0% interest credit cards. I would still make a payment towards it and not put it on the back burner, because if you get complacent and lackadaisical, which that's what they're hoping for, they want you to get complacent, they want you to get lackadaisical and forget about that bill, forget about making you that payment. That way, when by the time that 0% interest runs out, they can make money off of you. So you have to have discipline. You have to be focused. That way you put more money in your pocket as opposed to these financial institutions. The financial institutions do not play fair. And if you miss that payment, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, yes, they'll make money off of you, but also if you do have a minimum payment due, make sure you all are making those payments, those minimum payments, because they will attack your credit score. It's probably like 40 to 45 points. You miss a payment. It's a big hit. And so as you're looking at that, be very careful in the next 4 to 5 months with your credit cards. If you can go without using them and you don't have financial discipline, then don't use them. If you know that's your weakness, if you know that's your Achilles heel, then just stay away from them completely. And so once again on this morning, and I'll probably stay on maybe about 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to prepare for this speaking engagement. I really want everyone to heighten their senses in the next 4 to 5 months of what's going on with the marketing, with the advertising, to get you to reach in your pocket and pull out that wallet, to get you to pull out your money, to get you to pull out that credit card and debit card. The marketing and advertising and the peer pressure from those around you are going to be at an all-time high during the next in this next season to get you to spend money, and you have to either budget for it, be able to creatively understand what's happening financially in your situation, or be able to simply say no. It's okay to say no. Sometimes there may be a family get-together or function in the years past, and I couldn't make it, and I had to say no because I had to do what's in best interest. Because when January and February and March rolls around, the bills don't stop, and life is going to keep lifing. For some people that I couldn't visit when they wanted to, I just waited a little bit longer. I waited till it was more affordable, till it made more sense, and then I still got to see them. It just wasn't the month that everybody else may have decided to. And I know family and quality time is very, very valuable. I don't take it for granted, but you don't want to be around family or trying to do quality time and then you're financially miserable. Do it in the timing that makes sense. You have to use wisdom, because making bad financial situations can affect your mental health, and it can affect your stress levels and how you treat those around you, because you might be miserable, you might be frustrated, and you're probably uncomfortable. And so being financially wise can solve a lot of problems of things that may be going on internally. So don't take that for granted. I appreciate each and every person for tuning in on this morning. I hope that you have a blessed day. I'm going to replay this live at 9 a.m. Once again, I wanted to make sure that I do come on, even though I have a speaking engagement and I have to be somewhere else. I want to be loyal to those that are always tuning in and listening, and make sure I put out this content and information for you. This is a reminder on today. Double check those finances. How many bills do we have left to pay with a few days left, maybe a week and a half left in this month? And do we have enough money to pay those things? And what adjustments can we make? And your homework is, after I pay those bills off with what I have left in the account or money coming in, how much money will I have left over, which is my cash flow? And what do I do with that cash flow? You're going to do one of three things. Well, you might do the fourth. First thing, any debt, we take that extra cash flow, we apply a principal payment to whatever to whatever debt, whether it's a car note, whether it's a credit card, whether it's a personal loan, whether it's to the mortgage. Also, second thing, if you don't have any debt, then fine, let's put it in the savings account, and more importantly, a high yield interest savings account. Now, if you don't know what a high yield interest savings account is, if you check in the description and on my YouTube channel, on a lot of the videos, they have the link for a high yield interest savings account. And when I get off of live, I'll put it in the description for this one as well. And so you can always check the description for high yield interest savings accounts. I'll tag them, put them in there. Actually, on the YouTube channel, if you listen in on YouTube, I'll put it in the description now, in the chat section on YouTube now. High yield interest savings account. That way you can make more interest on your money as opposed to just leaving it in a regular checking account where it doesn't make any interest or less than 1%. These high yield interest savings accounts make about 4 to 5% interest, helps you hedge against inflation, and also helps your money grow. And plus, you can use that extra money to invest in other things. So anyway, if you don't need to beef up your savings account or your emergency fund, then we're going to invest that money, that extra cash flow, into an asset class. And in the chat section on the YouTube channel, I'm going to post another link in there to Robinhood and M1 Finance. Most people know Robinhood. A lot of people don't know M1 Finance. But if you open up a account with M1 Finance, and I'll make sure I put the link in the chat section on the YouTube channel with this video. Usually when you open up an account with them and you deposit like $100, sometimes they'll gift you like $75 or $25. So go to the chat section on this live video on my YouTube channel, and in the chat section, you'll see those links. Also, if you use that link to open up a Robinhood account, usually Robinhood will give you a few free stocks as well. And that was the last. Oh, the fourth thing that you can do is decide to do nothing at all. And when you decide to do nothing at all, financial institutions win. And they get to loan out your money and put it to work because you chose to not do anything with your financial situation. We have to maximize our stewardship and manage and budget and monitor and maintain those things that we're blessed with, ladies and gentlemen. We can maximize the potential and the working money that we have in place. We can be financially successful in this season with everything going on. When we were younger, there were videos that would come on TV that would say, just say no to drugs. And I would say sometimes people do not have those physical drugs to say no to. For some people, that drug or that habit may be spending or overspending. And on today, I'm telling you, just say no. Be blessed. You can have financial